Number 7.
Vampyr, a game of class, a game of dignity, and of knife crime. Welcome viewers to my homeland of Britain. Come see the sights, take in our culture, maybe drink a person or two if that's your thing. Hey, I don't joke. In this game, we are Jonathan Reed, and well, he was hungry. You must discover the secrets of Birmingham. Why is everyone sick? Who turned you into a vampire? And of course, finding out why everyone sounds like that. To aid you in your quest, you can use shadow powers, as well as a hunger for Tesco meal deals, in order to find the clues to the mystery. What has caused this epidemic, and where are all the supple femboys at? Now if you're feeling hungry, let's dig in. Our boy Jonathan wakes up in a pile of silly little decayed bodies. Naturally, he starts to make his way home because he's had one hell of a booze up with the boys at the local Witherspoons. When he sees his sister, she knows what he's like when old Johnny Boy's had one too many VBs. Spoiler alert, he gets peckish. Well, that just happened. Then we get hunted down by the locals and eventually meet up with this guy who, upon arrival, shows us his TikTok account. It burns! He reveals to us we are in fact a vampire and we have to do all the normal stuff that entails. Do I really have to explain what vampires do? We also have the power of mesmerizing. We can become an Animan Studio cartoon. From there, for some reason, the doctor guy figures it's a great idea to hire a vampire as a doctor. I don't know, I guess he needed the diversity hire.
I'm not a very big fan of the black in your band.
The gameplay consists of fighting and talking. A lot of talking. You see, you gotta charm people, you gotta learn their secrets, really form a bond. This is because the fighting aspect Vampyr is linked to the dialogue aspect. Dialogue consists of this menu. There are 4 districts, each with their own people, social circles, and pillar members of the community. Every citizen has a certain number of hints, as well as a different value of XP you'll be rewarded when hitting that Slurpee. The number goes up if you know more about the person, and you can spend this XP on cool upgrades for the actual gameplay part of the game, like health, stamina, bite abilities, nail varnish, vape pens. Now you may be asking, why would I game end these lovely NPCs when I can just earn XP by beating up British men in combat? Well, allow me to show you why. Yeah, you really want to grind 5 XP at a time? No, that would be awful. And it is a fact that not eating anyone means you'll be solidly under-leveled, making the average femboy Brit into a strong and powerful Romanian man by comparison. I should know. I basically went through the whole game without eating anyone because, well, I knew his characters would get sad. But then I realized I wasn't even playing the game properly, so I ate these beautiful men right here. After killing someone, they become a silly little voice in your head. Just what I needed, another one of those. And we'll probably say something guilt trippy, but you can't just eat people willy-nilly. You see, each district has this stability bar with different levels. Killing people will lower this bar, and the lower the bar is, the more enemies will spawn, as well as having higher levels. Obviously, that's not epic, so you've got to balance it out. But you're a man of science. It's 1918, so a cold can kill people. You need to force feed people their medicine when they get sick, otherwise they'll die anyway. If the bar gets too low, then the district collapses, everyone dies, and there's only enemies there. Each district has a pillar, person the people rely on. Once a playthrough, you'll have to make a decision, which will result in changing the entire district. For example, this lovely nurse lady, she was providing free healthcare to the poor, and me personally, I won't stand for that. So I walked in there, I gaslit her with my vampire powers. She stopped being a service to mankind. As a right-winger, that's bad for business. So products that don't work to poor people. Yeah. What I didn't know was that after this, I broke her mind, causing her to turn into this foot creature, essentially killing her, and then I killed her. And killing pillars is a big deal. The district stability will take a huge hit if you kill a community pillar. So I turned this poor neighborhood into a true disease-ridden hellhole, but I made it lore accurate. That's what they get for living in Grimsby. The combat is Dark Souls-like. Health, stamina, a dodge, all the normal stuff. But you get to choose 4 abilities as well as one of 3 ultimates. I picked this cool one. But ladies and gentlemen, I have terrible news. The British man enemy has a knife attack. I feel stereotyped. Can we please cancel 1 sec? Don't nod at entertainment. Twitter, do your thing. The main enemies you will face will be a mixture of Britain's finest, big dog, half vampires, and this one reskinned vampire with a really weird voice. He's British after all, I mean. The vampires are by far the most annoying, as they can use the same abilities you have, and you can get stuck fighting the same guy who keeps casting the invincibility move. I hate it! You have a choice between a 2-handed weapon for the chads, and a single-handed weapon and an off-hand weapon, which would be lame, but there is one redeeming factor. The Second Amendment, right? This just feels wrong. My world is shattered. Anyway, if you don't pick a 2-handed weapon and just stagger everything in the game, then you're just lame. You know, I'm just saying, but that's me. That's my opinion. Now look at these streets, look how good it looks. The environments in this game, beautiful. It reminds me of those 2 games I like a lot. I made a video on one, go watch. No. It is Victorian London after all. These environments are so well done, as well as the music and overall demeanour of the NPCs. You really do believe you're in 1918, like, complete with the crime statistics and everything, man. The music is very fitting. It sounds like music you would have in a detective game, which is part of the gameplay. But there's also this undertone of something unnatural, you know, because he's a vampire. Some of the music is also very calming, like super chill. It's a break from grueling combat or the constant bombardment with words. They won't shut up, they won't shut up. The game is super faithful to the gothic horror setting. Complex words, even I don't understand. And most of all, it's super immersive. I fully believe I'm this rich middle-aged doctor instead of the typical British hooligan I actually am. No! But Vampyr is a game about story, first and foremost. Now what's the story like? Well, it's interesting. Vampyr has a lot going on in the story department, but this is going to be a hot take. It's bad. The story's bad. Calm down. Hey, you put that down. Just listen to me. And these spoilers that I'm about to spout, skip here. Wait, is that thing beeping? The story tries to balance way too much stuff in order to make sure that it isn't just a simple vampire story. I think a simple vampire story would have been way more interesting than what we got. Because we have this weird story about an ancient evil vampire blood curse. Her son, vampire hunters, There's way too much. This story needs some serious downscaling. First off, the guy who makes you a vampire at the start of the game is in fact not a guy, but this weird eldritch being god thing. With the same name as a Welsh poet, but also based off of Merlin from the stories of King Arthur. And is the son to the Red Queen, who is the embodiment of a disaster. Jesus, this is too much already. Listen, I came to this game for vampires and medicine, not for this weird stuff out of Left Turn. I kind of thought this guy was meant to be some sort of way for the vampire that infected Jonathan to communicate with him throughout the game. But no, it's a wizardly god thing. Typical wizards, am I right, boys? Another thing is Cullingham, the vampire hunter that is painfully underused. He throughout the game is shown as a threat to you and culminates in a boss fight towards the end of the game. But here's the thing, immediately after you beat him, he just helps you out by giving you one of the most precious relics the Vampire Hunter's Order owns. And he says, "I'm your best friend." The entire cure section of the game just feels rushed. It's essentially a fetch quest at the very end of the game. And if you made certain choices like I did, it makes no sense why half these people would help you out. Lord Redgrave is a vampire lord that I betrayed, right? And he hates me. But all he did was call me a rapscallion before giving me, once again, the rarest relic he owned. You could play this off by wanting to have the epidemic cured. I mean, come on. These people hate Jonathan at this point, and they probably don't trust him. It would make way more sense for them to just jump him for the ingredients in his pockets and make the cure themselves. I think the multiple choices really had the devs by the balls, because they had to think of a way to make the ending sequence similar enough to spite your choices, and maybe they ran out of budget. I mean, this is only a AA game. Story element that I see as the best executed was the romance. Jonathan has game. And after a few brief conversations with Lady Ashbury, she got entranced by his British charm. Whilst the start is rushed, it becomes a fairly standard romance after. Except the fact that Jonathan is 32, and Ashbury is hundreds of years old. Yeah, I'm calling the police. She's crucial to the 4 endings of the game, where she kills her dad regardless of what happens. 2 of which, she'll get all lovey-dovey with Jonathan. But the other 2, well, I think you have an idea already. Wake up. God, I love the funny thing. But you can't just game the system. Vampyr is a game of commitment. No rollback saves. Once you do something, you done did something. Unless you want to start a brand new save, you're stuck with that decision for the rest of the game, my friend. So, if you kill someone important, bit of a skill issue. It fucked my best ending run, boys. I won't lie to you. You know me and getting the best ending in games. It's an obsession. And now I'm in withdrawal. But, at least I got the last lap. Diamond 1. Well, is the game good? Man, I don't know, but I liked it. That was fun gameplay, funny jokes, a lot of beautiful men. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. By the way, I'm getting ready to stream on Twitch. Go follow. If I don't get 10 followers, I'll game in this person. I'll game in them. You better follow. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta use this machine to turn back into a badger. See you next time.